guys, welcome to History Electrical Solution channel. For some time now, people have been asking me how they can actually do a safe and more reliable electrical house wiring, especially how they can wire switches such as intermediate switch, one gang two-way switch, two gang switch, and etc. So today I decided to make this video to show you how to do electrical house wiring safely. So today's topic is all about electrical house wiring. Without wasting my time, let's get to it. So as usual, the first thing to look at is a component, and the first component that we'll be looking at is electric pole. So usually the electric pole has 4 wires, where the first top 3 wires are the live wire and the down one is a neutral. So usually your distribution company need to have this. So they are the very company that provide these facilities. Then the next thing to look at is energy meter. Energy meter also can be either in prepaid or postpaid. You can also have it either in a 3-phase or single phase. So this particular one that you see on the screen is a single phase energy meter, and this energy meter is also provided by your electricity distribution company. Then the next component that we're looking for is a distribution board. Normally this distribution board comes with MCBs and the RCDs. So when we talk of MCB, is a miniature circuit breaker, and the RCD is a residual current device. This distribution board comes in a different sizes, and these sizes can be selected based on the size of the house. That is the number of rooms, the hall, kitchen, bathroom, and etc. So depending on the size of the room, also determine the number of circuitry arrangement that you have. So this circuitry arrangement determines the size of the distribution board that you should have. We have 4-way distribution board, 6-way, 8-way, 10-way, 12-way, 24-way, and etc. So in every distribution board, we have breakers in there. We have double pole breaker and the single pole breaker. The RCD is optional. You either may have it in there or you may have to buy it and install it. And we have 1 gang 2-way switch, 2 of them. This 1 gang 2-way switch, 2 of them are going to be used to control 1 single light, and you will soon find out how this wiring arrangement is done. Then we have 2 gang switch. 2 gang switch is also going to use to control 2 different light system, and very soon we are also going to show you how this wiring arrangement is done. Then we have 13-amp sockets. 13-amp socket comes in 2 forms. We have a double 13-amp socket and a single 13-amp socket. The way of wiring arrangement is the same for both. And we have the light bulbs for your lighting system. Now let's begin with the wiring. So we'll pick the neutral from the pole, and that will go straight to the energy meter. So usually in the energy meter, the first 2 ports or connectors at the extreme are for live, and the middle connectors in the middle are also for neutral. So you see that right from the pole, it gets to the immediate left middle connector. Then we'll pick a live that comes here. Then we'll pick a neutral from the meter and that will go straight to the main circuit breaker. Then we'll pick a live wire that also goes to the main circuit breaker. Then from the main circuit breaker, we'll pick a neutral to the RCD. Then from the main circuit breaker, we'll pick a live wire to the RCD. Now from the RCD, we'll pick a neutral wire straight to a neutral bar, which is normally found in the distribution board. Then we'll pick a live wire also that serves as a common wire for all the breakers in the distribution board. Now the reason why you have RCD is that RCD is there to make sure that any excess current that may come on the system, this RCD is there to prevent it by tripping the entire wiring arrangement in the house, just to make sure that any excess current does not get through any of our electrical appliances thereby causing them to be damaged. So the main live wire that is coming in serves as a common live wire for all the breakers. So then all the breakers begin to tap in from that main live wire, as you see in the screen. Then each breaker has a specific purpose. So for instance, if you are going to do a lighting system, the breaker you select is different from the breaker you select for sockets, because the amps rating for socket is not the same as the amps rating for lighting system. So in general, the amps rating ranges from 6 to 12 amps for lighting systems, and from 13 amps, 15, 16, and 18 amps up to 20 are for sockets. So you should know which breaker to choose depending on the type of circuit arrangement that you are going to do. So let's look at how we select these for our wiring arrangement. So a live wire is picked from one breaker straight to a switch. Remember, when you are doing lighting system, always the live wire goes to the switch directly. Always, when you are doing the lighting system, always the live wire goes to the switch straight. The live wire does not go to your light, or it does not go to your load directly. The live wire always goes straight to the switch rather. Then we pick another live wire also to another switch. Then another wire is picked from another breaker to one of the sockets. Then we pick another live wire to also the remaining socket that we have. Remember, the cable sizes are also not the same. So for sockets, we always choose 2.5 millimeter square insulated cable, and for lighting, we always choose 1.5 millimeter square insulated cable. So now we'll pick a neutral from the neutral bar that is going to be used for the lighting system. So we'll tap a neutral line to each of the bulb that is on the holder. So remember, for this neutral cable is 1.5. Now I'll pick another neutral cable which is different from the neutral cable of the lighting system. So this neutral cable is for the sockets. It's for the socket. And you can see that I did not tap it from the lighting neutral cable, simply because their amps rating are not the same, and it's always not appropriate to connect a neutral cable of a socket to that of a light. It is always wrong. Choose a different cable always for this arrangement. So we'll pick a neutral wire that will be going to each of the sockets. Now we want to wire the switch wire that brings the return or closes the circuit to the bulb. So we connect a switch wire for a 2-gang switch. One will go to one bulb and another switch wire will go to another bulb. Then we pick a switch wire also from one of the switch, that is 1-gang 2-way switch, to the bulb that is going to be controlled. Then we'll pick what we call strut wire. These 2 wires makes it possible for the 2 wires to control one bulb. Now I'm going to give you a detailed arrangement as to how each of the switches are really connected, because now you can't see behind. So now I'm going to show you behind the switch how the connectors are arranged for appropriate wiring arrangement. Now let's begin. So if you take 1-gang 2-way, this is how, if you turn behind, this is how it looks like. It has a COM and L1 and L2 connector or ports. It's the same thing. Another 1-gang 2-way, it has a COM, L1 and L2 connector. Then we have a 2-gang switch, and that one, this is how the arrangement looks like. Each pole on the switch has a COM and L1. So we have a COM and L1 on the left, a COM and L1 on the right. Now we have a bulb, another bulb, another bulb. Now we have a breaker where we're going to pick our lifeline from, and another breaker to serve another switch. Then we have our neutral bar. So now let's begin to see how we do this wiring. So as usual, we have a neutral from our breaker, and from the breaker it goes straight to the COM. In this case, we are going to do a wiring arrangement to see how these 2 switches, switch A and B, can control one bulb. So that is the first wiring arrangement that we are going to use. So this is what we normally refer to as 2-way switch control, where we can use switch A to turn the light on, and at the same time we can use switch B to turn it off, or we use switch B to turn it on and go and turn it off at switch A. So now let's proceed and see how this wiring arrangement is done. So from the breaker it gets to the COM. Then from L1 of switch A it gets to L1 of switch B. So now we are wiring or setting up the strut wires. Then from L2 of switch A it gets to L2 of switch B. Now we need to supply a switch wire from switch B to the bulb. These 2 wires makes it possible for switch A and switch B to communicate as to which one is supposed to turn it on or off at a particular point in time. So we pick a switch wire from COM of switch B, and that will go straight to the bulb. Then what is left for this bulb is the neutral. Then we'll supply a neutral wire to the bulb. So with this arrangement, I can turn on the bulb from switch A and go and turn it off from switch B, or I can turn it on from switch B and go and turn it off from switch what? A. So this is how 2-way switch control is done, using 2 switches to control one bulb. Now let's see how a single switch that contains 2 poles control a different respective bulbs. Let's see how the arrangement is done. So as usual, our live wire through our breaker will get to a comb of one of the pole. Then we tap the same live wire from the comb of one of the pole to another pole, another pole's comb. Then we pick a switch wire from L1 of one pole to the bulb. Then we pick another switch wire from one pole, which is L1, to the bulb. Now what is left for us to do is to supply neutral line to these two bulbs. So we'll pick a neutral line that gets in here, then we'll tap a neutral line to each of the bulbs. So this is how detailed arrangement of the bulbs for the different switches are done. So without much time wasting, go through this and practice, and I guarantee you will be able to do it. Without much ado, I also want to remind you that hit a subscribe button and a notification button down there to subscribe for more videos, because we are coming up for more videos that will surprise you and makes you more practical electrician or engineer.